car was one of the worst decisions I ever did, which turned out to be one of the best. And I think I wanted to share the story with you guys because I think a lot of people love old cars and they're afraid sometimes to buy an old car, but yeah, I think it's worth it, and I'll tell you why. So when I moved to Europe, I was 24 years old and I wanted to buy a car, and I really wanted to have something that was cheap enough so I could afford, without breaking my bank, without financing, because I didn't want to loan money from a bank. That idea didn't go well with me, to kind of always catch up on finances and try to pay this huge debt in many years. So I was like, no, I'm gonna buy it with my own money. And yeah, of course, as a young guy without much budget, you think, yeah, I should go for like a reliable car, you know, like. But then again, I have this thing in me that I just love having a bit more personality in the car that I own. I think cars represent something that you, like a style that you have, and like just looking at the cars of the people, you can kind of see which personalities they have, which I think is funny. So yeah, I started looking for something that was exciting and that was a little bit out of the ordinary. And in my search, I stumbled upon a classic of these kind of classic cars, which is the Mazda Miata. But then, yeah, it was really hard to get one. Nowadays, it's already getting expensive. And I found this Suzuki Swift to buy. And yeah, at the time, it was really something that didn't really make much sense from a logical point of view. I had like not so much money to fix a car if it would break. I didn't have any kind of people that I knew from the like mechanics point of view, or even friends to help me out if I would be stranded by the side of the road. And yeah, the decision was really hard up until the point when I actually went to see this car and to test drive it. And you just know deep in your heart what you want, like in terms of what makes your heart beat a bit faster, you know. Like I went to see this car, it was in the night, and the guy took me for a ride, and he started to accelerate a little bit, throw the gears down, and you know, just stretch the gears a little bit, and took some corners, and this lightweight feeling and just the amount of expression that an old car has in terms of like, you really feel the speed, you're much more connected with what's going on because there's not much metal between you and the outside world, and the glass is thin, and you hear a lot of noises, you hear a lot of exhaust, and you know, you feel the road through your hands, because the steering in this case doesn't even have power assist, not even hydraulic. And it just made me smile in a way that a Ford Fiesta or a Volkswagen Golf wouldn't. So yeah, I bit the bullet and I bought it. It was not something that I was really confident about, but it's something that my heart really told me, like, you're not gonna regret this because you're doing it with passion. And now it's been already 5 years, almost 5 years that I have this car, and I can definitely tell you that I couldn't be happier that I did that stupid decision. There were so many difficulties, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there were moments where I really thought about selling it because, yeah, it sometimes would break down in terms of like some noises would show up, or it wouldn't start on the first try. Electronically, there were some moments where the distributor stopped working, the ignition, and I had to find a mechanic in order to fix that because there's not so many parts available in the market, so it's not like you can order something very easily. But all of these experiences, one after the other, were making me more resilient and were really challenging me in a nice way to find ways to get those parts, to find people that would help me out. And I know this sounds maybe crazy in terms of you have to spend a lot of time and energy for this, but if you love something like this, if you love cars, it's something that you do out of pleasure sometimes. You spend hours and hours researching where am I gonna find that part, who's gonna help me out, you know, and you find through the most difficult scenarios, you always find somebody. I always had a moment where I was like, oh, Jesus, how am I gonna solve this one? Especially now in the last moments where in the last few months, I moved from Croatia, where I bought this car, to Germany, and that meant to have an inspection here in Germany. And that is a quite difficult inspection where I would have to potentially face the fact that this car was not gonna pass because it had rust and it had parts that were maybe not legal here in Germany. But you find a mechanic, you look for the right people that love the car. I found a guy out of luck or out of just having this so much passion and so much energy spent into this, that I found a guy who his first car was one of these Suzuki GTIs here in Germany, and he helped me out. And then he managed to fix the rust for me, to fix the headlights, to fix the catalytic converter, which was the reasons why I didn't pass on the TÜV on the first try. And I was out of money. I told him, look, this is something that I don't know how I'm gonna pay you. Maybe we have to see how to split this in a few months. But then, out of again, just trying and pushing, I was super passionate about it. I was honest to him, and he said, look, come work for me. I'm changing places. My shop needs some people to just carry stuff and to put them into boxes and to take them to the new location. And then I went there and I worked for him for a few days and just putting a lot of effort into it. And at the end, he just said, that's it, your debt is paid. And now my car is legal. And at any moment, it never actually left me stranded by the side of the road. I never had to order a tow truck. Believe it or not, I had to push start it many times. Don't get me wrong. And I had to sometimes be resourceful and take the bike to work. That's some things like this happen. But through resilience, if you find the car that you really love and you put some effort into it, some love, these cars can be super reliable as well. I've driven thousands and thousands of kilometers on this car. I've driven through winter. I've driven through snow. I've driven through like 3-4 hour trips to the seaside. And it just makes me smile. And that's what, at the end of the day, is what this passion about cars should be. It's not about being the fastest. It's not about taking that corner so fast, or it's just about having fun. It's about entering that car that you love, feeling the smell of it, turning it on, feeling the vibration, connecting with the car, and slowing down. These moments really slow you down. I had so many difficult moments in my life in these few years, and this car was with me through it all. It had its quirks. I always had to like fight for it, for this to be working well, and it was so worth it. I met so many nice people along the way, which I consider friends, and had so many cool experiences which I will remember for the rest of my life. And that's priceless. I don't think any car, any modern car would have made me feel like this. So that's a little love letter to classic cars. They're worth it if you're strong enough. See you next time.